Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me right here today. Today we're going to be ranking some airlines today, something which I've had planned to do since I got to Aussie, but I've never had the chance to record it. But today we are doing just that. We are going to be recording some airline rankings. So remember to, if you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. Does help out the video a lot and lets me know you do like this kind of stuff on the channel. Maybe I can try and get some more sit-down vlogs recorded in the future right here on the Skywing Vlogs channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video and turn on post notifications so you know every single time I upload. Without further ado, let's jump into this right here. As you can see, this is currently the tier list we have in front of us right here, right now. We have the airlines of Monarch, Ryanair, Qantas, Virgin Australia, British Airways, and Thomas Cook. So those are the airlines that I have flown with. These are also the airlines I'll be ranking. We're going to jump straight into this, guys. In 3, 2, 1, pooh! Alright, so we are right here on the tier list. And we're going to start off. So as you can see, we have S, A, B, C, and D. These are the rankings we have. And we're going to start off with Monarch. Now a defunct airline, but I flew on them once, I think. And we're going to just chuck them and see. I think Monarch were a little bit above Ryanair, but they weren't awful in the slightest. From what I remember, because it was a while ago, and I know they went bust during COVID, but from what I remember, they were a pretty half-decent airline. They were nothing overly complicated or overly pricey. I think they were a little bit more expensive. They were along the lines of an EasyJet or something along those lines. But yeah, they were basically more British competition in terms of the budget space for airlines. So that's Monarch. Alright, let's move on. And now we have the big boy, Ryanair. That is going straight to the bottom. Ryanair are absolutely a dreadful airline to fly on. They're cheap, which is the selling point. You can get a flight from London to anywhere in Europe for less than 100 quid return for a week, which is kind of their entire selling point. But the problem is, because they've reduced the airfare cost so heavily, they have also made the in-flight experience absolutely atrocious. To the point where someone with long legs, you have the minimum amount of leg room on their planes. The CEO wants to create a standing cabin, which I don't know why he wants to do that in the slightest. But that is why Ryanair is going below Monarch, because they basically reduce the customer experience so much so you can get a flight for cheap for a week from any of their European destinations. Yeah, they're the biggest budget European airline. They're based in Ireland, so that is why Ryanair are going to be sitting right there. Qantas, who I flew to Australia with and who I flew to Brisbane with, they are going in S. Qantas is the undisputed best airline I have flown with. The food, I mean, I think they're a 4.5-star airline at the minute. They're Australia's national airline. They are incredibly good at what they do. They're really solid. I mean, I flew on an Airbus A380 double-decker from Heathrow via Singapore to Sydney, and they were incredible. The food you got was incredible. They have a self-service snack bar on their long-haul flights, which I love. And so yeah, that's why Qantas is going in S. They also have incredible customer service, other than when your flight gets delayed, apparently, but we won't talk about that today. But yeah, Qantas International is incredible. Qantas Domestic, not so highly ranked. I think Qantas Domestic would probably be dropped to an A, but we're going to keep them in an S, because the best experience internationally I've had is with them. We're going to leave Virgin Australia for the moment, and we're going to move on to BA, British Airways. I would really put them in either of these two categories, the A or B, because BA, it can be phenomenal. There is days where you can go on a British Airways flight and it could be an absolutely incredible flight experience. There's also the times where it's the polar opposite and it's a dreadful in-flight experience. So I think I'm going to drop them to B. BA, their in-flight entertainment screens, they have the most up-to-date films. They have a deal with Paramount Skydance to basically put all the Paramount films on their library. Qantas has a very similar deal, but with Netflix rather than Paramount Plus. So that is kind of why they're being placed there. No real particular reason, just kind of, you know, it's just kind of that. But the now we're moving on to Virgin Australia. They're going to go in B as well. Virgin Australia, I flew with them yesterday to Newcastle from Brisbane, but they're just okay. There's nothing really special about Virgin Australia. They don't do anything fabulous or amazing or incredible. They're basically what you get is what you pay for is what you get, basically, with Virgin Australia. They're definitely not budget, but they're definitely not Qantas level prices either. They are just kind of a mid-range airline that has quite a lot of flights out of Brisbane and Sydney and Perth and Adelaide and all of those cities. So that is why Virgin's going in B. There's nothing really there. And then we move on to Thomas Cook. I'm going to put Thomas Cook in a B as well, but I think the end of B. Because they basically are identical to Virgin, in my eyes. There's nothing really I can add that you can't be said for Virgin. They're not as cheap as these last two, the Monarch and Ryanair. They're not as expensive as a Qantas. So they're kind of a mid-range airline. In terms of anything else happening, as in like, in terms of other airlines I could have added to this list, I mean, I have no experience on like Air Canada or American or anything like that, so I can't really add those in for the moment. But yeah, this is kind of just a short and sweet video of ranking airlines. Let me know your favorite airline ranking, and in the comments down below. I want to know what airlines you guys have flown on, if you recommend any, and maybe we can start doing airline reviews eventually. But thank you guys so much for watching. Give it a big fat thumbs up if you did enjoy, and I will see you all later. Peace out, guys.